Everybody talking all this stuff.
You're listening to The Voice, 17104.com.
Yeah. Come on. Come on. It's the show, y'all. It's the show, y'all. It's the show, y'all. Boom. Yeah. Ba, 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 ba. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Live here on Kenny's Corner. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are live right here on Kenny's Corner. And I'm telling you, we got a barn burner going on. I'm going to give you the phone number now because it's got to get hot. 717-889-7181. That's 717-889-7181. All right, y'all. I got so much on my mind. I got so much to say. But I only have an hour to say it. But I need your feedback because this is bananas. This is bananas, John. What's up, Daddy Rob? Oh, listen. Did y'all hear about what happened at John Harris? John Harris, my alma mater. B, it's just too much going on at my alma mater, John Harris High School, where the kids of today probably don't even know the school song. Let our deeds be our credentials and humanity our way. As we make a bright tomorrow, as we forge our way today, may Harrisburg High set the standards for others to follow through. For the dignity of men. Echo all and say we do. Listen, John Harris, there was a situation where the school had to get temporarily shut down because not of a riot, not of a fight. And Benzina, I need you to help me make sense. I need y'all to help me make sense. There was a video, and there was about 8 guys stomping and jumping on another young man. This young man looked like he was about 89 pounds with all his clothes wet on. They stomped him, they kicked him, and then they stomped him some more. We need help, y'all. We need help. Benzin says, see what I mean? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. What has happened to Harrisburg High? Now, I know some people up there are doing their best. I know some of the teachers with a heart of gold. I know personally a security staff. I know them. I know principal who works tirelessly to keep law and order up there. But they need more than just the principal. They need our help. They need suggestions. She said, Shine said, that should not happen in school. Where were the officials? Cheyenne, it was a melee. No one has that many officials, Cheyenne. No one. We weren't even that bad in 1984, but believe me, we found a room. We found a room if we wanted to fight. My brother Damone Maxwell is on. Damone Maxwell is the new basketball coach of the Harrisburg Cougars. And I know for a fact Damone is a no-nonsense kind of guy. I know for a fact Damone will not put up with no behavior like that from anybody on that team. But my heart is hurting because that's my school. I'm not here to talk about my school, to downplay them, to tell them they ain't worth this and they ain't worth that, but something has to be done. My question is, what would you have done if it was your child and you saw the video and they were absolutely stomped out? One of the kids on the video took a running leap, a jump, like a leapfrog onto his head. What would you have done if it was your child? 717-889-7181. What do you want to see happen? There's so many wide ranges of emotions right now. Yeah, Benzina said, yeah, your school made the news. Yes, it did make the news. This was terrible. They had to lock the school down for a minute to get everything in control. Now, right now, Cheyenne, you're right. It says, Cheyenne said they should be tried as an adult. Yes. Yes, they should. I wanted to hear from Damone. Damone said the schools are cutting corners and they only have chosen to cut security. All right. All right. Right there. They've cut a lot of things in school. But in this climate, what you choose to cut is security. We need more security. We need more help. When I was in school, the police roamed the hall. You know, Damone, I was adamantly against that at one time, but I am not anymore. I am not anymore. Hopefully the folks understand discipline, she said. Yes, hopefully. They need the old, what she said, they need the old school. Oh, Mr. Carter. If police needs not, if not police, it needs police, not regular security guards. Boy, where are we going? You know, it's a sad day when that's what you have to do to have an education, to have armed police officers in the hallways. But if that was my son that was being stomped out, I would want justice done. I would want charges pressed, and I would want some convictions. But what if it doesn't happen? What if no charges are pressed? Harrisburg High, she said, Harrisburg High needs 5 to 7 cops on site. That's someone's child gangster needs. Yes, Cheyenne. It was horrible. The kids don't respect the security guards. And the few guards they do have are female. Wow. Thank you, Damone. Yes, we are in trouble. Now, if the kids don't respect the security guards, Teresa Reynolds said they need 5 to 7 cops per floor. Listen, y'all, I need to hear from y'all. 717-889-7181. 717-889-7181. What would you do? What would you have done? What do you want to see happen in your schools? Could volunteers be an option? If we had enough volunteers to, I don't know, come through and walk through, I don't know. This behavior is unacceptable. It is unacceptable. So what do we do? Now, Cheyenne said try him as an adult. Okay. All right, Teresa said no volunteers. Cheyenne said try him as an adult. So, okay, volunteers are out. We'll take that off the table. No volunteers. So they are not respecting anyone from volunteering. Yeah, we need change quickly. So listen, can we do this? Can we have staggered dismissals through classes? Can the 9th grade go? 10 minutes later, the 10th graders go? So on, so forth, and so on. And then when school is out, that's exactly how we stagger them out of the building. I don't know. I'm asking questions because I'm confused. I am confused how this is gone so wrong so fast. 717-889-7181. How about this? Do you think the kids, we need parent and neighborhood volunteers, have they identified the culprits? Now, Cheyenne, I don't know. We saw the video, but I don't know if they have identified the culprits or not. I'm not saying they didn't, but I don't want to ruin nobody's investigation either. But how about this? The people that were filming, do they get the same punishment? Because sure enough, if you're the driver or the getaway car, you get the same punishment as who did the crime. So should they get the same crime? If I'm filming and no one's helping? Ms. Reynolds says, close it down. Everyone do homeschool and still participate in school activities. Huh. Well, that's a solution. Do y'all think that can happen? Y'all think that can work? 717-889-7181. I want to hear from y'all for real. Because if the kids can get better grades and come up to the school for after school activities, still play football, still do the prom, still do that, and the marks go up, it's a win. And you don't have the conflict. Okay, Benzina said that's not the answer. We never had that kind of problem back in the day. Times have changed and the world's just different. Yes, Benzina, it is so different because it's really a different world from where I came from. If my mother or my father would have seen that video and it was me doing the kicking, I would have begged the police officer to arrest me. Do not send me to Joe Robinson or Doretha Robinson. If you have any kindness in your heart, don't send me home. Mark Moore, how you doing? Uh, Wayne Johnson said, you would have been dead. Wayne Johnson is my cousin, and he knows the family history, and he is right. It would have been crucifixion on Emerald Street. They would have, on Easter, they would have been singing about me. Miss Campbell, homeschool is an option for privileged families. I am a single mom and I work full time. I don't have the capacity. Yeah, that's it. That could be an issue. All right, come on back.
Good evening, caller. You on the air live on Kenny's Corner. Go right ahead.
Hi, Kenny. This is Diane.
Hey.
Your discussion, and hurt people hurt other people.
Yes.
So if you were to follow those children home, you probably would not be surprised at what you found at home.
Wow.
Because if you and I were to brutally, physically harm someone, we would be afraid to go home and share that with our parents. So what's going on with the home if they have such a child that's so out of control, they go to school comfortably and physically and emotionally harm someone else? No, they don't need to be able to visit Harrisburg High. They need to be dealt with like an adult.
Yes.
And just remove from the school and possibly be enrolled in an alternative school, if that's the answer.
Right. But now, Cheyenne, answer me this. If it was your child, expulsion is not good enough. No, it's not. I couldn't rest if you just said they can't come to the school no more. I couldn't rest. I just couldn't rest.
But you and I would probably know what steps to take to get justice.
Right.
But what about that parent or parents that don't know what steps to take to get justice and also protect their child? That child's been not just physically harmed, but also emotionally scarred.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm just wondering, where were the teachers? Where was the principal, the assistant principal?
Well, see, in a May like
they know what Harrisburg High School is like. It's different. It's unique. I'm not saying it's a bad school, but you need a little bit more protection at that school than maybe another high school.
No, you're absolutely right. But like the one gentleman said, they cut the security budget. We only have a few. Yeah.
If they cut the security budget, that's when you go back to the old way and old approach. You have a PTA meeting, you invite volunteers. There's some retired military men that are sitting at home during the day that would love to come up to Harrisburg High and share in the protection of students trying to learn.
Right. And that was my suggestion. Maybe we can have some volunteers.
Put our heads together, put the heads together there in Harrisburg and come up with their old time resolution.
Well, they really are. Now this is what I do know. They are really trying. They are meeting, they're putting their heads together because they know this can't happen. Because right now, what we're facing is possible retribution. Because we don't know what this family is like, or their brothers, or their cousins. We don't know what is going to be in the next weeks to come.
And then you stand around as a student and you film, take out your camera. I assume that's what happens, your cell phone.
Yep.
And you film someone being brutally harmed instead of trying to help that person and stop the commotion.
So are they just as guilty?
Yes, to me.
Me too. So I think whatever happens to the boys happens to the filmer.
Because you know what? Harrisburg has some very good attorneys. And if I was that parent, I would get the best of the best. I would file charges against the students and also file charges against the school district because they did not try to protect my loved one.
Okay.
And when you start taking those steps,
Yeah.
things tend to happen.
Yvette
If
Luster.
they can't afford an attorney, they can go down to the legal aid and see what assistance they can get through that avenue.
So Yvette Luster says, armed National Guards, this is a state of emergency. And this is where, and then Black Panther. Now this is what, and this is what I'm trying to say. It's that bad. Because no one could stop them.
Really?
I'm telling you.
So the police was called too late? Is that what you're saying?
A jumping doesn't take long at all.
Right.
You understand? And so by the time the person got the thing out, the film hit the camera, the boy was already on the ground, balled up into a fetal position, because that's all he could do was ball up to protect himself. And they kicked him in every which way. And I'm telling you, it was like somebody took
cameras. They don't have cameras in the
and that's what another caller, Miss Reynolds, said. There needs to be cameras through that whole school. I work at the Mission, and there's cameras on every corner of that building.
You know what? We all should put together and come up with about a $5,000 reward. Kids will start talking.
Shoot, I'll make up a name.
Everybody will pay.
I'll make up a name.
No, we're always starting GoFundMe.
Right.
Somebody's child. That could be my son. That could be your son.
Yeah. No. I took it personal.
They need to start a GoFundMe.
I took it personal. It could have been.
Family.
Right. It could have been mine.
To help this. Yeah. And I'm not saying the family doesn't have the money.
Right.
But we as a community.
But show them the support.
Get some kind of resolve.
Now, the rumor was, but that has been dispelled, that he might have been paralyzed because he wasn't really moving after that. But it came back that he's up and he was talking and, and so.
So no one that we know has contacted the family.
Well, I'm not even saying
their name or their personal business, but just to see how the kid is doing.
I can't say they didn't. You understand?
Oh, okay.
I can't say that.
Right.
But what I am saying is we need to come together as a community and make sure this doesn't happen again. We need to put more pressure and say, listen, you need to hire more people for just that.
Mm-hmm.
More training for just that. And I mean, they can't go around a corner without a camera hitting them. And we have a lot of parents today just, they don't even think their children are at school doing anything like this. Like my mom never.
Well, there's two things you should never say that they won't do. That's when you talk about a man and your children.
Right.
You never know.
Yeah, you're right. Now, Miss Reynolds said, this isn't over. There's going to be retaliation from that boy's peers. Wait and see. Let me tell you, listen, the way this society is right now, Cheyenne, I don't know. These kids don't have the morals. They don't have a moral compass. Young boy just got.
Well, did they identify the culprits at all?
No, they're not. Now, right now, they're not releasing that. They're not releasing that. But I know they have. Cheyenne, if you work at that school, right? You know exactly what them boys were. You know what I mean? They know who it
Right.
is. They know who it is. I'm sure everybody's been notified. But my problem is, maybe you can help me out with this, Shine, because one lady made a good point. Everybody can't afford homeschooling.
Well, because it's almost like working from home, telework.
Right.
I am not a telework employee, not because I can't stay focused, but I like to be away from the home to feel like I'm at work. I'm also not a online student. I've always been in the classroom. So everybody can't afford and to learn, and they can't learn through homeschooling. And who's going to teach them at home?
Right. So on the not on my Facebook, but on the actual the voice 17104.com, 17104.com, the picture came up. After school fight involving, now listen to this. They jumped on one kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
22 kids. It says Harrisburg police said they'll step in to provide security. Praise God. Praise God. Praise God. Praise God. Praise God.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's good.
Yeah.
That's good news. That's good news. So there's something that's coming out of this. You know, that's something that's coming out of this. She said Teresa said these kids are old enough to do homeschool. Well, they're old enough to do homeschool, but they're not mature enough.
Yeah,
to stay
don't
focused.
Learn social skills. You know, your social skills tend to be handicapped sometimes when you're removed from the classroom, you're homeschooled. Who's going to teach them?
Well, listen, I'm not even going to go that deep, Cheyenne. Who gonna monitor me?
Yeah.
Because I was horrible at math. I was horrible at math.
Yeah.
So if math came around, best believe I was watching Scooby-Doo. So the event lesson says someone have to lose for the ultimate win. Yeah. What? Yeah. 717-889. Hold on.
I'm sure you have other callers.
Yes.
But it's great to say hello.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
717-889-7181. 717-889-7181. Oh my goodness. I need y'all's help. So the police said they're coming to step in. That is good news. That is good news. But I know everybody can't do homeschooling. I know that. I mean, come on. It's just not going to work. But drastic measures calls for drastic solutions. Right?
You're on Kenny's Corner. Go right ahead.
Good evening.
Good evening. Who am I speaking with?
It's Tressa.
Oh, hey, Tressa.
Look here. These kids can do homeschool.
Uh-huh.
They can do homeschool. My daughter does homeschool, and the amount of support that she gets from her teachers, they have side tutoring. There is no reason these kids can't do homeschool. Because personally, I say, shut the school down until you get a solid plan, because we keep getting mediocre plans. We keep getting plans that look like Swiss cheese. They ain't filled in. It's like, it's not consistent. There's nothing consistent. Like, we're experimenting with our kids. And in the process of us experimenting with certain plans, kids are falling through the gaps. Shut it down. Everybody do homeschool, because you can still have the school activities. You can still have the soccer team, the baseball team. You can still do all that, because within homeschooling, like cyber school, they still have events and things that they do with the children. They have clubs, they have all sorts of stuff. Close the school down, because it's out of control and nobody has a hold of it, because nobody knows what to do and everybody's grasping at straws. And these kids can be out here in the street They can do everything else. They can sell drugs. They can break down crack. They can weigh heroin. These kids are mathematical geniuses, let me tell you. Because if you can do all this in the street, and you can do grams and kilos, and you can do all this,
Yeah,
you're very intelligent, actually.
yeah.
You can
Yeah.
sit at home and you can do that homeschool. And what needs to happen is the first fight you have, if you're deemed the aggressor, bye, because we keep giving them chances.
Now I like
But when
that.
you get out here in the real world and you work with somebody, you work with, I'm gonna say it, the white man, he's not giving you a chance. You're getting out. I'm sorry, but you're fired.
Right.
Like out here in the real world in these jobs, you don't keep getting chances. And you have to learn how to act accordingly. And that's not happening. And we're just like throwing roses over top of.
So do you
We're trying to
feel?
make something.
So do you feel?
What?
So you feel like we just got a gaping wound, and all we're trying to do is put a little Band-Aid over it.
Yes.
So now I like your
And
point.
what about the children that go to school to learn? Like, let's talk about mental health. What about their mental health?
What about
They're
them?
there for that.
You're right.
And every child is not mentally equipped to deal with aggressive environments. Because I'm not. I wasn't as a child. I can't deal with that now as an adult. I don't like aggressive people. I don't like aggressive atmospheres. I don't like it because that's not who I am. That's not, I can't. So what about those children?
Right.
They go to school every day, they're stressed out all day, they gotta go to school. And they have to deal with all this because the focus is not on them. The focus is on the clowns that can't act right. So then what about the mental health of these other children? Does anybody ever ask how they feel?
No, I'm sure. But listen.
And it's
Hold on. Let's take one step back because I like the one point you made. Fighting
Which one?
will not be tolerated.
Yeah,
I like that.
That's it.
I like that.
It's not no second chances because these kids got guns, they're in gangs. Like this is a whole different breed of children than when we was in school.
It's a whole new
And I
culture.
think like that whole disciplinary book, the rules for the school, it needs to be rewritten.
So
It
now,
needs to be rewritten
because
it needs to go along with the generation we have now.
so help me out with this. Yvette Luster said the kids won't complete in school work or homeschool. Put it back on the parents to get it together and figure out what their kids are doing. Now, before you say something, even a good kid could get lazy if there's nobody watching them.
I understand, but I feel as though at a certain age, you need to be held accountable.
Well,
and then you have some parents that are great. Hold on, you have some parents that are great parents. And your kids are, they would never imagine their kids are doing some of the stuff they're doing out here in the street.
That's true.
They would never imagine. So I feel as though it needs to be more effort from the parents.
Yes.
And I also believe that once you hit high school, like you're old enough, you know right from wrong.
No.
No.
That's
And you need to be
logically.
held accountable.
Right. That's logically. So I don't mind the holding accountable. I don't mind that. Meaning, okay, well, you want to be here fighting and carrying on, you're gone. I got that. But I'm saying, what about the kid that does well in school, but won't do well unattended?
They'll do well.
No.
They will do well unattended because if they can do well at John Harris with all this stuff going on,
No.
you can do well at
No.
home in a
Listen to
peaceful
me.
environment.
Listen to
No,
me.
it's an excuse. No.
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 I know. I'm not
No.
making an excuse, but you're painting a blanket that they'll all do well. I'm telling you, there are kids that do well because they are afraid of the consequences of the teacher. But if you're sitting at home, they just may not do that.
But there are no consequences of any teachers at John Harris.
I know that. I know that. I know that. But I can't say there's no consequence with the teachers. But what I am saying this, I don't think homeschool. See, I don't think we're not. I don't think we're giving enough thought about the kids that needs that stimulating in school. I'm not a kid. I wasn't a kid.
And I understand what you're saying, but how stimulated are they? Like, it's too much going on in the school.
I know,
Like,
but I
how
don't think I could
stimulated are
survive. I don't think I could survive it in homeschool. I don't. My mom's at work. My dad's at work. I don't think I would. I know I wouldn't survive. I'd be sitting on the front porch with a free spot,
So then,
tearing it up.
no, I just feel as though, like, it's too many grasping at straws trying to come up with plans, and it's too much bad stuff happening. Like, nobody has any control over anything.
Right.
Nobody has any control.
Right.
No.
And so one of
And
the
you
things,
have, like, teachers leaving the school district, going to other schools, like,
right,
it just needs to
because
be
they're
like-
not hired. They're not hired to be security guards, like Yvette Lester said. They're hired to be
They're not.
educators.
That's not what they
Right.
went to school
They're
for.
hired
They
to be
do homework for. They
educators.
come in there and
So,
deal with somebody's bad kid. Right.
so it lies on the parents, but a lot of our parents in today's society has the same mentality as their children. I remember calling a parent up to the school when I was a mentor specialist at the William Penn, and to talk to the parent about the child's mouth and the language she's using in the classroom. And as soon as the parent walked in the room and started talking, I apologized to the parent and said, I'm sorry for wasting your time. Because she had the same mentality. Ms. Campbell said, agreed, not everyone is a remote learner, right? Online homeschool wasn't a thing when I was young, but I did part of my BA. All right, girl. Online. But you're going for your BA, you're a grown person. Yeah, it's different. But I'm talking about a ninth grader, a 14 or 15-year-old.
So then, okay.
I'm just saying.
I don't know what the solution is.
I don't know.
think that
But this is
parents,
why we're
if
here.
they don't like what's going on up at the school, they need to make a decision.
Right. Oh, no. And the
It's
decision,
not a safe environment at this point.
listen, right now, like I read it off, that the police are now willing to be the security up at Harrisburg High. I'm telling you, it was bad. So that's a step in the right direction. And so it's not going to get fixed in one swift
And I
stroke.
understand, but how many years have we been taking steps?
Okay, but here we
How
are.
many years?
Because I don't want it to go any further that somebody loses their life. So now we'll have armed police officers. Now we have to do some other things. And the school district, like I said, I just got a report that they are trying to do something. They're coming up with some stuff. So I don't want to just throw them up under the bus saying they're not doing anything. It's just not privy to us right now.
Well, I can't wait to see what it is.
I know.
There's nothing that worked yet.
The high school environment is
But
not
we're running out of time. We don't
conducive
got
to
time.
learning.
Like, we're running out of time. People paying school taxes and all this other kind of stuff. All
Ooh.
this nonsense is going on.
Now
If
you
you
bet.
can't act right, you gotta get out.
Now
And that's it.
Yvette
What
Luster
you
said.
need to do, Penny, what you need to do is go up there and work in the office or something. Sit in the hallway. You need to do something.
Hold on. Hold on. This just came in. Okay, the student was injured, received medical treatment. It says an incident like this extremely upsetting and troubling for the entire school community. Acts of violence and inappropriate behavior simply will not be tolerated on school property.
Oh,
The Harrisburg School
they keep
District,
saying that.
listen to me, will impose the most serious disciplinary action possible under our student code of conduct and discipline code.
Oh my goodness. It
Listen,
ain't enough.
will you know what? You just like them parents.
Yes. Excuse me?
Will you listen? This could include suspension or expulsion. Now, I'm gonna stop right there because I'm saying this: suspension and expulsion is not good enough. If it was my son, if it was my daughter, hold on, listen. I want Harrisburg to understand this. If it was my son or my daughter who was being stomped out on that ground with 22 kids, I don't care about suspension. I don't care about expulsion. I want justice. Try him as an adult. Try him as an adult. Try the camera person as an adult.
Yeah.
Instead of you running to go get some help, you ran to get your record button on your phone. Yeah. Yeah, Yvette lessons that needs to be revised. Yvette, that letter is a standard letter. You know that, right? That's a standard letter. Because under the school conduct code, you know, expulsion is the worst that can happen.
That school conduct code needs to be rewritten.
Well, like I said, under any school conduct code, expulsion is the worst that can happen. My problem is if it was your son or daughter, getting their head bashed in, you would want more than an expulsion. I don't care if you don't get an education. I don't care about that. I want you to go. I want you to go. Now, if I put my minister hat on and I'm not there and pray for the family, pray for the kid, that's one thing. But if I watch it and it's my son, my flesh and blood, the flesh of my flesh and the bone of my bone. Oh, Lord. Thank you. Thank you for calling in, Teresa. You have been wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Oh.
I know. And this drumstick that I ate was wonderful too.
All right, honey. See you later. He's so crazy. Yes, let's say yes. That's what I'm saying, Yvette. It's all fell and good until it's yours. I'm a minister. The director of the studio named Chris, he's a minister. See, we understand the minister response. Pray for the family and, hope justice is served. We understand that until he looks on the camera and it's his daughter. It's his daughter being stomped out with 22 people. Goes out the window. What do you think, Minister?
I'm sorry, I'm reading the comments.
Oh, okay, I'm glad you read. Thank you. But it goes out the window. It goes out the window. Dontel Latham, how you doing, Dontel? We're in a heated conversation about the condition of Harrisburg High and that big jumping. Yeah. But you're human first. That's right. I am human first. And I don't want to see nothing happen to my child or anybody else's child. But it just hits a little home. Benzina said they better not let the moment pass them by. They need to get it right and do it now. Yeah. Who was there? So, man, I tell you, man, this is exhausting. I knew this was heavy on my heart. 717-889-7181. 717-889-7181. Man, it says to enhance safety and security of the district, recently hired the school police officers who will focus on bridging and building relationship between the district, law enforcement, students, families, and broader school community. Again, we'll be sharing more information as this roll in the coming days and weeks. Now, that's good, but I want to hear something like, and charges will be pressed. Dontel said this generation is so lost. They are. Is there a march plan? You bet. I'm tired of marching. We march for everything. It's time for action, and it ain't in a march. But I can tell you this: if somebody doesn't press charges, if the state doesn't pick this up, I hate to see what's going to happen. I just can't imagine somebody. I don't want to talk about that. But what about the parent that loses reality, that snaps, that watches this and goes berserk? You know, that's a real thing. What if the parent has mental issues? See, I come from a mental health background. So my thing is this: everybody ain't in the right mind. And if something is not done properly, I don't know. Remember Time to Kill, y'all, with Samuel L. Jackson? And them guys raped his daughter, and he knew justice was not going to be served. He knew it, that justice would not be served. And he took matters into his own hand. We have an opportunity to let justice do the right thing. Because I'm telling you, expulsion is not harsh enough. But that is the harshest thing that a school district can do, is to kick them out of the district. I agree with that. So it's just not enough. 22 kids? 22? Watching, kicking, laughing. Ooh, world star. You know that's where it all started, right? Every time something happens, they scream world star. World star. That's where it all started. And now the video is so quick. People are so quick to videotape and laugh and embarrass people. They're so quick to do it. And they're hurting so many people. We need to be human again. 717-889-7181. 717-889-7181. This is truly a... Oh, yes. And you can please visit me on YouTube and like and share. On YouTube, like and share. I am on YouTube. I got about 8, 9, 10, 15 shows out there on YouTube. Like and share, please. We're trying to get this thing going. When it's close to you is different. The time has come for us to take a stand for justice. That's right. It's time to take a stand for justice. I'm telling you, man, I am. YouTube, like and share, YouTube, like and share, YouTube, like and share. My. What's the channel? Oh, Kenny's Corner. You're back.
Kenny's
Kenny's
Corner.
Corner.
Go ahead with your question or comment, please.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, this is Brittany Bernard.
Hello. Brett.
Hello.
How you doing?
Yeah. Yeah. So my thing is more. Okay. The issue is I feel like even more security. Let's discuss security in this situation.
Okay.
Let's say we got even more security guards. Let's say the cops came in. Okay, so now the school's looking like prison. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
let's say that. Let's say now the school looks like a prison. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and even in prison, people get jumped. Even in prison, people get killed. You understand? So even adding more and more police still may not even solve this. You understand? Kids will just get more sneaky. That's what they do. That's what they do. So yes, of course, add more police because you want to give the illusion that hey, now your kids are even more safe. Oh no, kids are kids. Kids are kids. So
Right.
it always comes back to the parents, and it's always what programs are being put in place to teach and educate the parents? Because of course they're just lack of knowledge at this point. It's just uneducated. They don't understand the ramifications of their actions. Like it's such an important job to be a parent, but they're not even realizing how much they're affecting by not being a great parent, So yes, it's on the school, but you can't do anything if the kids are coming to school with no home training.
Right.
I mean, you
So
can get all the police in the world.
So let me ask this question though. Would parents participate in parent training?
That's the problem. It's like, how can we really reach them that they would really sit down, listen on a consistent basis? That's the focus. And I don't know. We don't know. That's why we're here.
And
That's
so,
why we're here, because they haven't been training.
and so, I think also, and I think I touched on this piece a little bit, and I think Teresa Reynolds touched on this piece as well. The mental aspect of the child. Every mental illness. But let me give you this number. 80% of people in the United States suffer from depression and anxiety. 80%. That's a high number.
Yes, definitely.
So when you say 80%, we're not saying 80% of adults.
Right.
So who's doing anything for their psyche? What about the kids that seen this video that are all messed up right now? Their anxiety right now is through the roof.
Yes.
In that letter I read, there was nothing about school counseling.
Correct. Exactly.
Like we're not. And so I hope someone is hearing this and saying, yes, we need to do that. Because it needs to be a complete healing. So Ms. Campbell says, Rashana said, pay the parents for the training that would give them incentive to come.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, and you bet Lester said 80% of reported cases. Yes.
Right.
Yes. Because I'm telling you, I worked for 6 years at the Pennsylvania Psychiatric Institute. And I worked on all floors, from the senior adults all the way to the kids. And believe me, there are a lot of kids with mental issues that suffer from depression and anxiety, from peer pressure. Listen, those 22 kids, 8 of them, I'm sure at least 8 or 10 of them was dealing with doing what they're doing because of peer pressure.
Right. Of course. Yeah.
Okay, so she says, I work for an intermediate unit and there are programs that pay migrant parents. Okay. for them to come in for seminars,
Okay.
$50 to $100. Okay. Well, maybe some of them will go for that, and they might learn something. You never know.
Right. Programs like that need to be highly advertised. Highly advertised. You know,
Highly.
everywhere. Yeah.
Well,
Highly, yeah.
Deborah Johnson says, pay the parents to learn how to parent. That is just enabling. Yeah, personal and witnessed trauma. Yes, I'm telling you, there's some trauma behind this. I'm sorry if this sounds racist based bias, but I'm going to be honest. We have money to help immigrants. She getting ready to go there.
But not natural. But natural, right. Not
Right.
our own.
But not about the natural born minority parents. And I say this is the child of an immigrant. Wow. You're right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely
That's
right.
America.
That is America. Wow. There is a lot of, there needs to be counseling. There needs to be someone going to counseling right now. There needs to be counselors going to that school right now, saying, what can we do to help? How can we help our kids?
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Right. Like, I know you're increasing security. I know you're increasing, you said, the cops are coming into school.
Yes.
I get that. But also increase counseling. And
Yes.
not just for the children, but for the parents. It starts at home.
Yes.
Increase count. Like, that should be a goal. And like, we're just hearing more police, more police, more, more restraint, but we're not hearing help. We're not hearing more help. We're not hearing that
Right.
enough.
We're not hearing help.
That's the base. That's the root of it.
So
That's the root of it. You guys are doing all these proactive, but you're doing all these
help.
reactive measures.
Help.
Lack of proactive measures.
We need help. We need help.
And the kids are shouting it out in their actions every day. I mean, look
Right.
at it. They just found out a kid.
I need help.
Come on.
I need help at home. I need help at home. I'm being abused. We ain't got no food. I'm being bullied. I need help. I need help. Yvette says yes, they are building bigger. Yes, and they're building more institutions. Do you realize that they build penitentiaries? They justify how many penitentiaries they're going to have to build by the third grade reading level of inner city kids. And they have calculated that this is how many penitentiaries we're going to need. So parents, hold your kids accountable, because believe these teachers when they say your kids are tripping. Believe them.
Right.
Because
Johnny would never do that.
Because
Yes.
your kid would never do that, but then when he gets in trouble outside and he goes to jail, and you say, well, my son wouldn't, I know my son is innocent, and you go into the courtroom and he got more evidence against him than the law can allow.
Exactly.
Man, your kids.
And it could have been avoided had you just listened ahead of time. Had you just done something early.
Our kids need help. Listen, our kids need mental health help. They need counseling. They need it. I'm serious. They need it. They need it. If you want to do it, if you want to bring something in, bring in more counseling. Bring in a seminar.
Right. Bring in more counseling.
Bring in more counseling.
More security, okay, but also more counseling.
Bring in more mental health counselors. Bring in more mental health counselors. We need it.
Yes.
Help.
That's the root. That's the root. You got to start at the ground. You have to start at the ground. Like the roof is crumbling, but you got to start at the bottom.
You got to get to the root.
Yeah.
You got to get to the root.
Or else it will continue to crumble. No matter how many times you fix it up with a board or another police in the school, it will still crumble.
Yeah.
Because the foundation is not there.
I don't care how many dandelions you cut off at the top of the head. If you don't cut it from the root, they coming up again.
Exactly. Exactly.
You better be a family therapist. Yes, they need to come in. Something needs to be done.
Right,
Help.
right.
That's what we're gonna say. Help.
That's what needs to be in the budget. More therapists in the schools. That's what and then like they said, incentives, because just because more
Yeah.
therapists are here doesn't mean people are coming.
Right.
Doesn't mean they're gonna walk in their office.
Right.
You know?
Because they'll be embarrassed of somebody think.
Exactly.
Peer pressure.
Exactly. It's saving face. Oh
The-
no, I don't want
the
to
very
know that I
reason-
did this. Right.
The very reason they need to come in will be the very reason they won't come in.
Exactly.
Help.
Exactly.
Help.
So true.
We need help.
Mm.
That's my school.
Yeah, where do we begin? Where
Well,
does it begin?
Where it always begins. At home.
Right.
At home. My mom would have warned.
Because it's expulsion, like their parents may not even graduate high school. I mean,
Again, you're right. Again, you are right.
Huge. That's not big. Like, oh, okay, all right, you guys fell. Well, guess you better get a job, just like I did. All right, go to work. Like, it's not even a big thing at the house. If I got kicked out of school, oh, I did too. And your sister, my sister, your aunt did too. All right, well, get a job. Yeah.
Deb,
Nothing.
Deb said, do we have class of 82? That was the second best class in the 80s. I love it. Thanks for acknowledging. But Deb said, do we have any alternative schools that they can go to? The answer is yes. Whatever. The answer is yes. It's Hamilton School. Yes, we do. And they don't play up there. But they treat them kids a little differently than we do in a regular high school. Trust me, I know. Because I used to work in alternative school.
Mm-hmm.
It goes all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
And they learn.
Okay. I was gonna say it doesn't
But we
work.
can't,
Okay.
but you can't treat
Right,
a regular school like you do an alternative school.
right.
1984, Harrisburg High Cougars. That's when I graduated. We were responsible for
Okay.
the building,
Okay.
the building of Harrisburg. We probably did more than any class ever. But I love the class. Listen.
Sir,
This
sir.
is a hot topic. But my
It
time
really is.
is completely up. Like and share. Go to YouTube under Kenny's Corner. Like and share. But like I always say, I can't control what happens on the corners of New York, DC, or Chicago. I can't even control what happens in the hallways of Harrisburg High. But I can always control what happens right here on Kenny's Corner. Good night.